to my higher self. Feel the presence in every situation. I claim abundance and good health. Oh yes, I feel the Spirit. Oh, let the music ring. Oh yes, I feel the power when 1,000 voices sing. Hallelujah, 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 amen. When I pray, sit in meditation, I forgive others and myself. I feel the presence of oneness in every soul and nation. I bring peace and joy and love and health. Oh yes, I feel the Spirit. Oh, let the music ring. Oh yes, I feel the power when 1,000 voices sing. Hallelujah, 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 amen. Hallelujah, 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 amen.
Good morning and welcome to Unity of Chattanooga. I'm Reverend Faye Ann Schmidt. I'm the Associate Minister here at Unity of Chattanooga.
And I'm Reverend Doug Worth, and we want to welcome you this morning to Unity of Chattanooga's Sunday celebration service. And Faye Ann and I and Penny are here in the beautiful Blue Ridge Hills at Canoga Episcopal Retreat Center. This is Unity's annual retreat, and it's been an absolutely wonderful week,
Yes.
filled with everything from canoeing on the lake to wonderful speakers and wonderful music. And hopefully one of these days you can join us too for this annual retreat. Now our songs this morning are being performed by the talented music team from Unity of the Oaks in
Yes.
Thousand Oaks, California. And I'm just so grateful. They started out this morning with Yes, I Feel the Spirit, which is something that just absolutely enlivened me.
It's here, isn't it?
It is.
It is
It's
here.
right here.
Yeah.
We also want to welcome everyone who's here on Facebook this morning. So if you're joining us in our cyber sanctuary, feel free to make some comments and join us in the comments section. Okay.
We also want to let you know that we here at Unity of Chattanooga are a diverse group, and we honor you no matter where you've come from, and we are grateful that you are here with us because you bring something that nobody else does. So thank you for joining us. We do not leave anyone out because you are an expression and the presence of God. And if you weren't here, we would miss that. So thank you for joining us and being a part of our lives. You're very important. And we grow in the awareness of our divinity and our spiritual nature. And that's why we come together, so that we can honor God, so that we can be a part of this wonderful spiritual movement, and we can spiritually grow. So thank you, God. And coming to retreats and workshops like this, taking classes, attending service, all work in our spiritual growth. We had Unity's Mystic was here this weekend, and oh, what inspiration. Jim Rosemergy was here, and one of the things that he said, in the silence, it's not the absence of noise that we hear, it is the presence of God. So as we enter the silence for our prayer time and our meditation time, remember, it is the presence of God that we hear. Let's join together. Let's take that deep breath, close that outer eye, and just allow Spirit to come up, feel the presence of God. And as we go into this place of quiet prayer, know that we hold this presence in our hands, in our minds, in our bodies, that it is around us. And we are so blessed to know and have this feeling, this knowing, this spiritual understanding that God is in us, moving through us, inspiring us to take the next step, to lift ourselves up. Yes. To be more of who we came here to be. And just to be. Be the love. Be the welcoming committee to someone who is struggling. To be the joy in your heart. Let it overflow. And be that light, that beacon of light that draws others to us, but also awakens their own divinity of who they are. And we are blessed this day knowing that we are part of that special plan that God has for each and every one of us. The joy of giving, the joy of opening our arms and our hearts to all. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great.
I got inspired. How could you not be inspired here?
Especially here.
I'm telling you.
That was great. That was great. Well, we're so excited to present this morning's guest speaker, Makayla Perkins. Now, Makayla is such a beautiful, bright light. She's only 20 years old, but already she's serving an internship at Unity of Dallas in Dallas, Texas. And she's in the process of completing her degree in psychology. And once she completes that degree, then she's going to go on to Unity's Ministerial School, or that's her plan anyways. And boy, I tell you, at 20 years old, I wish that I knew what she knows when she's 20, or when I was 20.
Wow.
So obviously, we're looking forward to Makayla this morning, and we wish her all the best. And you'll see her too here in a few minutes, and say the same thing. So to honor Makayla this morning, we have Rick Cowling from the music team at Unity of Oaks singing "I Believe I Can Fly." And right after that is Makayla. See you then.
I used to think that I could not go on. Life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that believe I can fly. See, I was on the verge of breaking down. Sometimes silence can be so loud, but there are miracles in life I must achieve. But first I know it starts inside of me. If I can see it, then I can be it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Makayla Perkins, and I was born to be right here, talking to you, opening my heart, my soul, and giving whatever wisdom I have to hopefully create what is going to be a more positive and a more grounded section of your life. A section that will be grounded in the deepest, most true part of who you are. When you do public speaking, you end up doing a lot of introductions. And a couple weeks ago, I made the decision to no longer introduce myself or show up really to any situation in a way that is not grounded in my spiritual truth, not grounded in the deepest, most true part of who I am. And it feels amazing, because when you choose to not only open your eyes to the truth of who you are, what you're here to do, that zeal, that magical, spiritual part of yourself, when you choose to not only see it, but stand firmly grounded in that power, in that truth, with every action, every word, everything changes for you. Your spiritual endowment, the truth of who you are, is no longer just something that someone has told you about, or maybe something that you've been trying to convince yourself is true. It becomes your best personality trait, your biggest asset, and sometimes the only thing you know to be 100% true in a confusing yet wonderful world. Now, I said that everything would change for you if you made the decision to fully stand in your power, to open your eyes to your truth. But really, what I mean by that is everything and nothing would change for you at the same time. And I'm going to tell you a story that goes back to around 10 years ago that will kind of show you what I mean by this. So when I was younger, I thought I knew everything. Can anyone else relate to that? I went around thinking my way or the highway. I just knew it all. And then one day, my dad took me to the optometrist, where they informed me that I had errored vision. I was a little doubtful of this. I didn't see anything wrong with the way I saw the world. But if they wanted to make it better, I said, you know what, go ahead. So they gave me glasses. And then on my way home, my dad was trying to convince me to put them on, and finally I said, fine. I remember this next part really specifically, probably because I was being overdramatic. But I remember taking the glasses out of the case, closing my eyes, putting them on my face, and then opening my eyes again. What I didn't expect, but what happened, is that I was genuinely blown away. If you have any sort of vision correction, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, try to imagine this. At this point, I was probably around 10 years old. I had spent those 10 years of my life thinking that my kindergarten drawing of trees with the green blob and the brown stick was how trees 100% actually looked. I didn't understand that you were supposed to be able to see the detail of the leaves, of the bark. I thought it was like microscopic or something. And in that moment, I remember just feeling so happy and grateful that now I was given the opportunity to see and experience my life the way I was supposed to, the way it was meant to be experienced. And in that moment, everything and nothing changed for me at the same time. Nothing changed because obviously the leaves in all its detail and glory had always been there. But everything changed for me because now I could see it. I could feel it. That is the moment that we are going for today. That feeling of full embodiment, that feeling of saying, you know what, I knew these truths were always here, but now I'm arriving to them equally. And it's really important to stress that these truths have always been there. If you look into, this idea of stepping into your power, standing in it, there's a lot of things out there about reclaiming your power, which I understand that there's situations where we feel like our power was taken away from us. But it's important to note that at Unity, and it's just one of those things that are true, is that your power is never really taken away from you. These spiritual truths were given to you at birth, and they are a part of who you are. Yes, there are moments that instead of standing in those truths and practicing those truths, maybe you took a step back and maybe you had some doubt about them, but the power never left you. So rest assured, this is not something that you feel that you might feel like you need to go looking for it or reclaim it or find it. It's not that. It's something you just need to reawaken to choose in every moment. And it's 100% possible in your grasp and a part of you. When I tell people this, there's usually some hesitation, and when I ask why, it's usually around the fact that they don't feel that way. They pose the question of, then why, when I'm on the bathroom floor at my absolute worst, do I feel so powerless and so alone and all of these things that are just not truth? And it's a wonderful question, and it's a question, if not addressed properly, can lead you to doubt your truth in that time, that really instrumental time of having the opportunity to reclaim it. So I'm going to answer this question, and I really want you to soak in this answer so that when you are at that hard moment, when you're doubting yourself, you know that this instant is not meant to make you doubt yourself. It's meant for something else. So what tends to happen to people is that, we're placed on this earth completely backed by the creative, loving power of the divine, of source, of God, whatever you want to call it. And as a child, most of us can either relate to this in our own instance, or maybe you have children and you've seen this. But these children express this divinity, express this creativity, this expression, this power so freely. They sing, they dance, they dress however they want, and they're happy. That is the purest form of divinity, and it's something that you were given at birth, and like I said, has never been taken away from you. However, somewhere along the way, And the story of exactly how this happens is different for everyone, but somewhere along the way, most people end up doubting their original perfection, their gift of being alive, that spark, that power within them. Maybe someone judged the way that they are expressing themselves. Maybe someone told them that they weren't good enough. Or maybe you were just doubting whether or not you could get through that particular situation. When we are presented with these moments that make us doubt, that make us pause and say, what is next? There's really two choices that you're being given. The first choice is you can lean in to the uncertainty, to not really knowing why this is happening, but knowing that your truths are still evident, that your truths are still a part of you, and that nothing can change that. That is not always the easiest thing to lean into. A lot of us along the way, when we were presented with this, initial feeling of doubt, we took a step back from our truth and said, hold up, I'm not quite sure about this anymore. Each person's story of why they took a step back from their truth, or why they started to call their spiritual worth, intention into question, is different. It's personal. And I want to take a moment to say that that story is important. It's a part of who you are, the person that you've become. But it's also just a story. And there's a point at which, especially when it comes to standing in your power, that stories begin to get in the way if they're not pointing you down the direction of truth. So I'm going to call you to use your own power of spiritual discernment and be honest with yourself. These stories that you keep reliving, are they serving you anymore? Or is it time to let that go and step back into your power? This is a really big concept, and I hope you're feeling how important it is to stand fully grounded in the truth of who you are. But it's a big ask, and it's something that I wish it was like a light switch where you just flipped it on. But for me, at least, in my personal experience, it's taken time and a lot of steps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 specific truths that I want you to not only open your eyes to, but really embrace in the core of who you are. And even if you just start with one of these, it will help you live a life more in line with your power, more in line with that deepest, most truest part of who you are. So the first truth that I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that life works from the inside out, not from the outside in. This is so important, and it ties into what I was talking about earlier about the stories that we tell ourselves. A lot of us had that moment where we started to doubt our truth, and the reason we doubted our truth is because we didn't really understand this law of the universe. Something happened to us out there, and instead of taking that as a sign that maybe, there's something going on inside of us, and that maybe the reason we're feeling these feelings are a roadmap to some healing that needs to be done. Instead of feeling that way, we looked at what was going on around us and we said, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? That person leaving me must mean that I'm not good enough. That job that I didn't get, that salary increase that they didn't give me must mean that I'm not perfect and whole and worthy. But you see, this is not how the world works. This is not how spiritual life works. It works from the inside out. So I invite you to stop taking things out there so personally. take all that time that you spend pointing fingers, placing blame, doubting yourself, and use that time to let your experiences be a roadmap to what's going on inside of you. That is living in power. Living in power is controlling the things that you have control of, which is your personal experience, and watching the world around you change in turn. Life works from the inside out. The second truth I want to talk to you guys about today is you are divine. There are two responses I generally get when I talk to people about this. The first one is the person who didn't know that they were divine. And that one's kind of my favorite because I get to tell them that they won the spiritual lottery. Yes, you are divine. You are so worthy. You are so perfect. You are so whole, and you are capable of literally everything. The entire universe is inside you. And it's amazing. It's a coming home moment. Now, the second one might be a little bit more common if you've attended Unity for a little bit. It's the person that thought they knew they were divine. And I say thought because of an experience I recently had. I recently took a class on abundance, and I've always believed that I was an abundant human being, or at least I thought I always believed that. Until in journaling about my money behaviors, I realized that I can check my bank account up to a couple times a day for no reason. Is that a behavior of someone who truly believes they're abundant? No, it's not. So I ask you this: if you are someone who believes that you know you're divine, look at your behaviors, look at the things you say, the ways you act, how you are in those moments where your power is almost called into question. Do you lean in or do you lean back? And if you lean back, that's an amazing opportunity to align your life more with your divinity. Don't feel discouraged. If you've been doing this for a while, you know that the more you align your life with divinity, the more amazing things come into fruition. So get excited about the fact that there's ways that you can further align, further stand in that power and that truth that you are divine. Now I have one last truth to share with you, and I mentioned it earlier, but it's a big one, which is why we're ending with it and why we're going over it again. Your power is found within you. We live in a world where we are sold and taught that, external solutions are what we should be using, consuming, being grateful for, when really it's an internal imbalance. And the issue with this is that it puts all of our attention on what's going on out there, when really the true power and presence is what's going on in here. People spend their entire life looking for a love, looking for a power, a light, a positivity out there that's always been right here. This truth is the most amazing gift. Because no matter what you go through, no matter what hand you are dealt, your power, your love, your light will always be there. Nothing can take that away from you. So I want you to know, if nothing else from today, that you always have a choice. And however much doubt you have, however much pain, you have a choice to lean in to the deepest part of you, that deepest sense of love and truth and light. You have the choice to lean in and stand in that power. You also have the choice to take a step back And there's no judgment here. There's no judgment in spiritual practice. If you need to take a step back before you can take a step forward, do it. It's a part of your path. But I know my life has been changed by the knowing that I always have a choice to stand in my power, to turn within and feel the ever-present, ever-loving, comforting power of God, Source, the Divine, of me. And that's something that I want to make sure that you know you have too, just because you were placed on this earth. That made you enough. That made you whole. That made you holy and so powerful. The truth is that, life can be hard. It can be. Things can happen that kind of empty our buckets. And it's really amazing to have a couple practices that fill our buckets again, that remind us of how awesome we are, how powerful we are, how divine we are. For me, that practice my entire life has been going to church. I grew up in the Unity movement, and I was lucky enough to travel across the United States with teenagers in the Youth of Unity program, spreading the Unity message, principles, and doing some amazing activities. One of the most life-changing activities I've ever done is something called an angel wash. And I'm going to try to describe this as best as possible. So this angel wash happens, there's two lines of people, of teenagers, and they're facing each other. There's one person sitting at the end of those two lines. They're prayed in by an individual, opening their heart and their mind to the experience. And then that person who's been prayed in stands up, closes their eyes, and is passed from person to person throughout this line. When they're being passed, their eyes are closed, they're hugged by each individual, and when they're hugged, that person whispers in their ears words of truth. They affirm the most true, magical, and loving parts of this individual. And it truly does feel like you're being washed and renewed by angels, by truth, by love. If I had the opportunity to angel wash every last one of you, I 100% would do it. But unfortunately, I'm not there in person, and maybe one day I'll get the chance to actually meet you. But for now, I'm gonna angel wash you all at once, because knowing your worth and knowing how amazing you are is not an experience I would ever want you to miss out on. So I want you to prepare for a meditation. I'm gonna invite you to close your eyes, open your hearts, and receive these words as if they were your own, because they are your truth. And I'm here to give it to you, to remind you of it, really. So I invite you to go ahead and close your eyes, get into a comfortable space, and take a deep breath in with me. Breathe in and sigh it out. One more deep breath in and out. Releasing any thoughts that are taking you away from this present moment. Grounding yourself in your breath, in the beat of your heart, in the knowing that you are held and loved in this very moment. As you prepare to be washed with love, I invite you to open up your heart. Surrender the stories that no longer serve you. And let my words repaint the picture of who you are at your very core. And let this canvas hang for all to see. Beloved, you are divine. You were placed on this earth to bless every single person that you come into contact with, and you do that every day with every breath. Your smile is something that could light up the entire universe, and you let it shine so freely that it moves people to tears. You are abundantly more than enough. You were handcrafted by your experiences, by the people who have loved you and the people you have loved, to become the individual that will change yourself and the world around you. There is nowhere you can go that love does not follow, because love emanates from the center of your chest and engulfs you in perfection, in beauty. And if anyone or anything has ever made you think otherwise, I invite you to breathe it out right now. Your truth is divinity. Your truth is power. And I invite you to let a smile creep on your face as you feel this gratitude for that truth. Taking one last deep breath in and sighing it out, I invite you to come back to this room, your space. Thank you so much for arriving today with an open mind, an open heart. I am honored to witness your divinity, and I know that you will go forth and live it, standing in your power and in your truth with everything that you've got, because it is all that you are. Namaste.
Thank you, Makayla, for your wonderful message this morning. And we are standing in your power with you. And what a wonderful way to take a look at the future of the Unity movement. Well, right now in our service, this is a time when we practice our gratitude. For those of you who continue to support us with your financial gifts, we say thank you, not only for your donations, but for your commitment to this church and this movement. And remember, all gifts, no matter how big or how small, are always appreciated.
You can donate by going to our homepage at unityofchattanooga.org. You can also make a donation using your cell phone by using Venmo or Cash App. And we love checks. So you can send your checks to P.O. Box 4949, Chattanooga, Tennessee 37405. It is your generosity and gifts that allow us to be here today. So let's bless your gifts with our love offering affirmation. And together,
Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And remember, when you give in love, you receive in abundance.
Yes.
And so thank you so much for your gifts this morning. And remember that these gifts go forth to fulfill the mission, and the vision of Unity of Chattanooga. And so please join us now in singing our love song.
through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love. As I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace, and show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
And now for our announcements. I want to invite you to the Sunday morning meditation, 9:30 a.m. To sign up for the meditation, go to our website and sign up for the bi-monthly newsletter. A lot of good information in there about what's going on with the church, and you'll find how to connect with the Zoom meditation. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. That's where our power is, in the meditation.
Absolutely. And one other thing, every Wednesday at around 4 o'clock p.m., our board president, Shannon LeBrun, and I have a casual conversation, unscripted, about all things spiritual. And if you'd like to be part of that, if you have a question or something you'd like us to discuss, feel free to send it in at that time on Facebook, or you can send it in ahead of time. And once again, these conversations are unscripted. We, quite frankly, between Shannon and I, we never quite know what's going to come up. So it's always a good time, and join us for that.
You have a lot of fun doing that.
We do.
Looks like
We
fun.
do.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we have our building fundraiser going on. We'd appreciate your contributions to that. And next week, both Fayanne and I will be back. She'll be doing the platform assistant. I'll be doing the talk. And the Right Reverend Landis Batts will be doing the music. So make sure to join us then.
Yay, Landis.
Yeah, baby.
And as we close our service today, I want to thank Makayla Perkins and Unity of the Oaks for joining us and being with us today and sprinkling that magic all around us. Thank you for that. And now let's join together in saying our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love.
The power of God protects us.
I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And remember to hold the vision, stay the path, listen to your inner guidance, and trust the process. God bless from Chattanooga, North Carolina.
I'm just a spoke in the wheel, one grain of sand, but it feels so right to be right where I am. One little part of a much bigger plan, and the longer I'm here, the more I understand. I am one, we are
vision of love.
I am one, we are one, like the rays of the sun. When it's all said and done, I am one, we are one. One gentle touch, one loving word, one single step toward a kinder world. I am one, we are one, like the rays of the sun.